I find her turned around now, staring straight at me. It unnerves me. I try to remember what I were talking about before she requested a timeout. Oh, right, I just came to... I don't know. You still can't finish your sentences. It's not that. Fine. She retreats from the conversation, slipping away from me once again. She doesn't return to painting, but instead keeps looking at me with that empty poker face of hers. I want to talk about some stuff. I thought a lot about things. What things? Like what happened last week and so on. What happened? I get the feeling she's playing with me. Why, I have no clue. It is not a game she's playing with my head. I'm pretty sure she doesn't deliberately try to screw with people. Maybe it's just my voice there. Maybe it's just my own mind playing tricks on itself. Still, Rin feels like a puzzle in the form of a girl. I feel attracted to it, compelled to solve it, the overly irrational part of my brain refusing to let me give up. I can't leave her alone. I never would have believed I could be this obsessive about something. You know, this is probably split into two parts or something, but back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. But not the game that I was playing of it. But it's just like, kind of like an example. It's like Yugi Moto with the Millennium Puzzle. He was like so obsessed with getting it completed. And then, finally, he completed the puzzle and it was like, pretty trippy and bizarre stuff happens. Would the same happen if he figures out this puzzle? Why do I hesitate so much and keep running in circles around her? I don't have to do that. I already decided what I want to say. Rin. That's what he wanted to say. Saying her name with an intention like this makes my mouth dry, as if my subconscious is fighting against what I'm going to say next. I feel like I'm going to lock up any moment now. Rin looks up from her paint-covered toes and stops wriggling them, as there isn't anyone to observe them curiously now. The hard stare of her hard dark green eyes seems like a portent or whatever. I like you. The lack of any reaction is like a slap to the face. Ow. So, I mean, I'd like to like you as more than a friend. What is more? The slow, hesitant words coming from between her strawberry-colored lips are not the ones I was waiting for. Well, of the two possible answers that I'd been expecting, actually. I feel myself blushing heavily, as is par for the course in this kind of situation. My heartbeat sounds like a percussion orchestra on drugs. What that would sound? That would probably sound really bizarre, I don't know, maybe like it's playing in multiple odd time signatures, but they're not like consistent. You're just like, turn that shit off, man, that's freaking weird. Rin's Fox Innocent inquiry feels like I'm being grilled over hot coals. You know, like romantically, and... No. Rin turns around, giving me the cold shoulder as she returns to looking at her painting. She makes a move to pick up her brush, which lies forgotten on the floor, but decides against it at the last moment. I can't talk about that kind of thing right now. Didn't need to have put in the right now bit, but just now, but whatever. So, don't talk about that kind of thing, please. We're friends, right? So you can do that. Silencer's words leave behind his I was about to say defeating. Deafening. I want to say something, but my mouth refuses to move. There's no way I can retain my dignity. Rin finally picks up a brush without giving any explanation for her behavior. Maybe there was something in her voice that gave away some emotion, but I couldn't say what. Her shoulders slump melancholy as her foot works the canvas in front of her. She won't let me see her face, and I know it. Feeling the weight of my heart grow heavier, I stand up to leave, for I can't stay here any longer today. It's like I've opened Pandora's box by stepping over some line that Rin didn't want me to cross, and she had to turn me down. I walk across the squeaky floor to the door leading to the stairwell. That's just pictureless. It's like a real somber atmosphere, but at the same time. Rin's quiet voice stops me in my tracks as I'm about to open the door. Hisao, my hand still on the brass doorknob, is waiting for me to turn it or to withdraw. Yeah. Will you come tomorrow? Yeah. He said in that exact way. Also gotta remember to switch to the yellow save point at some point. I just don't know when. After a night of bad sleep, I go through the day mostly on automatic. I put on my uniform. The music seems to have a bit of a distorted sound coming off it, probably due to the level of the volume. Put on my uniform mechanically, do my schoolwork mechanically, eat my lunch mechanically, reply to teachers mechanically, and thus, when the final bell rings, I still feel as if I had just woken up. My mind feels blank and overcrowded at the same time, and I can't even begin to unravel the tangle of feelings I've gotten myself into. You know, I can kind of relate to that. Some days where your mind just feels blank, yet overcrowded at the same time. It's weird. You feel like, I'm such in a daze, yet your mind is racing at the same time. It's like, how does that even make sense? I spend the bus trip downtown staring out of the window, thinking about these things. As a result, by the time I climb the stairs to the atelier, 4 floors above size gallery, I am feeling completely exhausted. Expecting awkwardness, I quietly knock on the door before entering. I spot Rin at the center of the small, clear area in the room. Working on a painting, she does not acknowledge my arrival in any way. Yeah, Kim as promised. Couldn't even hear the high in that, really. Need to pause there. I came as promised. Rin snaps her head to my direction immediately. Was she waiting for me to say something? Locks that cold green gaze of hers on me. Although I'm sure my own face can't hide my feelings, Rin's expression is as expectant and neutral as always. The clouded, slightly absent-minded darkness in her eyes is like a wall standing between me and her. It is the first awkward silence between us that is truly awkward. Yes, they both of us said something we couldn't take back, and there's no way it can be undone. I wanted to say something, but Rin forbade it from doing so. I can't even begin to guess what she's thinking, but I'm feeling the pressure of her lightless eyes on me, compel me to break the silence without saying the thing I most want to say. To my horror, I find that I can't find any way to start a conversation. It's as if I've completely lost the ability to speak with her. It's as if he suddenly learned how it feels to have social anxiety. It really is. That's how it is, man. When to deal with social situations with social anxiety, you don't even know how to start the conversation. You just feel awkward and out of place with that. Or I do, anyway. It just feels awkward. It's like, online, I could just, talk to someone, initiate the conversation, but real life, not as easy. Because you have to actually, speak properly. I'm more used to kind of typing, and even then, I just tend to kind of just be like, I don't know. I'm crap at socializing. Did I read the previous line? Doesn't matter, just keep working if you're in the middle of something. You'll just sit down here. Rin nods wordlessly at me and picks up the brush from the floor with the toes of her right foot. I sink into a worn-out sofa, picking up a book from my bag and opening it to where I stopped last night. I can't really concentrate on it, but it's better than doing nothing. The two of us are so close to each other, together in the same room even, and yet we're both off doing our own thing as if we're miles apart. I can't help but wonder about this unnatural situation. Why did I come here? Because she asked me to do so yesterday, of course. However, it looks like there's absolutely no need for me to actually be here. That freaking distorted sound of the audio is really bugging me. It makes me feel awkward at first, but you know what? It actually reminds me of my own keyboard. If I have the volume on it too loud, it does the same thing. You gotta have the volume at the right kind of level, otherwise it starts to sound too distorted. You know, I'm actually gonna adjust that. Wait, actually, can I do that? Holy shit, it's really quiet anyway, what the hell? Jeez, man, even when it's quiet, it's loud. It's either, oh, no music for you, only sound effects. Or it's like, oh, a bit of distorted audio for you. Whatever. It makes me feel awkward at first, but as we recall the previous silences I've quietly passed for written, I settle down and try to tune into the same comfortable mood I was in back then. Time stretches, then slows down. The pages of my book rustle each time I turn them, after maybe half an hour or 1 hour at most. Ren breaks the silence to my complete surprise. Hisao. Yeah. Hey, my friend. It's an echo of yesterday, I know it, so even Rin couldn't just push it aside from her mind. Caught off guard, I answer honestly. Yeah, of course I am. Don't worry about stuff like that. Come on. Okay. She doesn't say anything further. I feel happy somehow. Several chapters later, I mark my spot, close the book, and put it away in my bag. Getting up from the sofa, I see that Rin's made considerable progress on her painting. Which painting? This one? It doesn't look like it's changed. I take a look at it for a bit. It's still not quite finished, I suppose. Looks great. It's bad luck to comment on unfinished paintings. After that, I quietly leave the studio and catch the bus, taking me back to school. Gonna stare out the window again? Nope. He skipped over that scene on the bus. Skip the bus scene again. Again? He hasn't skipped one yet, though, has he? Life settles into some sort of vague, undefined norm. I visit Rin whenever I can, but each time is as strange as the first. They consist mainly of me watching Rin at work, or just reading a book on the couch while she works. We barely talk at all. Long, quiet evenings stretch over the last weeks of June. I sit on the... Wait, June? Back to that frickin' Yu-Gi-Oh game? That's how it frickin' feels in that game. It's like, I think, like, it might actually be June, or maybe it's May, that the game currently takes place in. And it feels like it drags on forever. It's just really slow. It's just, Or just wait, long, quiet evenings. Yeah, I sit on the couch in the atelier, listening to the... I'm gonna say it like that every time. Listening to the quiet rustle of Rin's brush and my own heartbeats, trying to make sense of the former and forget about the latter. I am a silent visitor in this place, a ghost. At some point, I start thinking that my presence is meaningful to Rin somehow, but never end up asking her about it. I don't bring up the forbidden topic anymore either. I try to stop thinking about it altogether. It's hard to do so and doesn't get any easier with the passage of time. My heart aches every time I look at the awkward figure of the girl I decided I liked, yet who refuses to acknowledge it. I still can't seem to find the right words to talk to her about anything at all, but I find quiet solace in observing her from nearby. The distance between us doesn't feel that huge when I can be close to her, even if it's like this. Rin looks like a demon, though there is barely a moment when she's without a brush between her toes or walking in circles around her current work in progress, estimating it from every angle and distance. She seems to be completely taken over by her will to work, to change herself into the sort of artist she believes will be worthy of the trust Noya and Sai have placed in her. Piles of sketches, works in progress, tubes of oil paint and brushes slowly begin to crowd the small atelier, making it even messier than it was before Rin acquired the right to use it. I offer to help her clean up every now and then, but each time she refuses. It dawns on me that in her mind the room is not in utter chaos. Rather, her system of keeping track of everything is so elaborate only Rin herself can censor it. Make sense of it. She knows exactly where everything is, from the tiniest brush to that half-empty tube of crimson that's the perfect shade for some picture in progress. Rin walks from one painting to another, looking at them as if not remembering that she made them. She talks to herself or to the paintings, even when I'm present. Always this quietly, though, that I can't make out the words. Every day, Rin pours herself onto the canvas for hours on end, squeezing every bit of her ability and even her soul to make good on that promise she made to me or herself. Black marks appear beneath her eyes, a sure sign that she's skipping sleep in favor of painting. I'm somewhat surprised to see her at school a few times. I never go and say hello, though, as I somehow feel it would break the silent magic of the evenings we share at the atelier. Whatever. Sometimes a sigh comes by when I'm there. She gives me a certain kind of look when she shows up. I think she doesn't like that I'm always hanging out with Rin up here, but she never says a word about it. She isn't quite as full of praise for Rin's work as Namaya, but is visibly impressed nevertheless. Wherever when she turns her eyes from the wonderful works of art to look upon the little red-headed girl that made them, a sudden deep sadness floats onto the surface of her expression. I can't explain it, and she never talks about it. June turns into July, almost without warning. End of term exams loom dangerously close, but all I can think of is Rin. I feel like a sleepwalker at school, looking forward only to the next time I get to visit that silent place above the eyes gallery. After Rin refused my attempts at directly helping with her work, I try to figure out other ways to help her. It finally dawns on me that she isn't eating properly. My course of action decided, I stop at the convenience store before going to catch the bus downtown on my next visit to the studio. I feel very energetic as I open the door to the atelier and greet Rin. I brought you some fruit. You need vitamins and actual food after all. You even eat up here. I do eat, even if I do eat. If I didn't eat, I couldn't paint. Then why don't you eat a couple of these? I shake the bag full of ripe oranges in my hand and employ to tempt Rin into taking a break. To my surprise, she actually lays her brush down and walks over to me to see what I brought. Her expression doesn't change at all when she looks over the bag. I can't eat oranges, Hisao. It does not work very well with feet. That's alright, I'll live. Of course I knew that, she told me herself after all. Extract the tiny fruit knife I had with me and select one of the round fruits. After making the initial cut, I begin to peel it with my fingers. The strong scent of cut orange rind immediately fills the air. Thousands of tiny droplets of oil burst from the skin. I remove the first section of the hard peel and shoot a glance at Rin. So, how's the work going? You know, the most pain in the ass thing about orange is, other than, peeling them, is that they're so, messy, sticky. It's just like, I remember one time I just, took a bite out of an orange, like a proper bite, and the juice just went. It was like, I don't know why I did that, but I just did that. I don't know, it's like I'm in the center of some huge mountain of jelly and have to dig my way out. Must be stressful. I think it might be, even though it's just painting. All this everything really feels really strange. Wonder if Rin is the kind of person who likes to carefully remove all the white fibrous stuff from oranges before eating them, or the more careless type who just eats them as they come. Maybe neither. I'm the former type, so I meticulously clearing the orange slices one by one while Rin watches the process with mild curiosity. I realize that I don't have the faintest idea about her likes or dislikes, or any of the other little details that make up the concept of a person for those around me. It's like in all this time I haven't learned much about her at all. Once I finish amending that fact, I realize I've cleaned the entire orange and neatly split it into slices. I hold the slice up, bring it closer to Rin so she can pick it up. With oranges, I suppose I must have been the latter then rather than the former. Because with oranges, you peel it, screw putting it into individual parts, just like, and that's how it gets messy, isn't it? I mean, doing it his way is a lot more tedious, but a lot less messy at the same time, I'd imagine. Yeah. CD! I want one too! Fuck off, this is hers. She takes it directly between her. He's just like, Hisao, you're flying! What about it? It's undone! Oh shit! Oh, you lied to me! Ha ha ha! I tricked you. I'm actually a painting. You're just hallucinating, Hisao. Ha ha ha! Ha. That doesn't make sense. She takes it directly between her lips and then into her mouth. All her lower lip briefly brushes against my fingertips. Then chews the slice carefully, savouring it as much as possible. I become fixated on the movements of her jaw. The trickle of juice glistening on her lips, the way her front moves when she swallows the orange slice. After I realize what I'm doing, I turn away, feeling embarrassed about watching her so intently. It's not the same as it usually is. The orange? Painting. Oh well, is anything like that ever the same? It is sometimes, I think. I don't know what though. I might be starting to paint differently soon if this goes on. Well, wouldn't that just be that change you keep talking about? She thinks about it, blinking her eyes a few times nervously. For a moment, absolutely nothing happens, as if time itself did a double take. We stare at each other in silence, only that faint tangy feeling of orange floating between us and the muffled sounds of traffic in the background. Then I pick up another slice and hold it to her. This is going to take a lot of editing, isn't it? She takes it from me with her mouth just like the first one. I didn't think it would be like this. Well, keep on going and see what happens. It's not like you can do anything else. Yeah, it's the only thing I can do. After that, she says nothing more. In the ensuing silence, I feed her in the rest of the orange, one slice at a time. Then I peel another for her, which she eats as well. Third I eat myself, and the rest are left in their plastic bag, which I put on a small desk next to the couch. She stands up and returns to her painting, with a strange look in her eyes that I haven't seen before. Like most of her expressions, it is completely unreadable. Even if I asked, she wouldn't explain what it means. Would she really know what it would mean? Some days later, I spot Rin and Sai standing in the gallery in front of the gallery as I walk down the street towards the gallery. What could they be talking about? Find out next time, because this recording's been going on for freaking ever, man. It feels like it anyway. So, see you next time, viewers. See you next time.